Hi everybody. So in my past videos, I did talk about what my big problem was. And just a refresher, my big problem is how can I advocate for students with disabilities who need individualized help and adequate resources? While doing my research this past week, I did learn about a lot of individuals who helped further Bronfenbrenner's ecological theories. One person in particular who I thought was very interesting, his name was Lev Vygotsky, and he developed the socioculture theory of cognitive development. He believed that culture also played an important part in shaping cognitive development, which basically means that the development varied across cultures. So, further explaining this, everybody from different backgrounds, from different cultures, everybody grew up differently. So basically, that is going to shape who you are as an adult. He also did believe that a child's development is guided and mediated through social interactions. And he didn't mean just in schools. He meant, like, for an example, like at a daycare, babies play, babies parallel play, just things like that. So it just wasn't schools, it was playing with toys and playing with other children. So as far as the behaviorism learning theory, it focuses on observable behaviors based on someone's environment. So within Bronfenbrenner's theory, the microsystem, I believe, is where it all starts. I believe that it is also the main field or domain of behaviorism. At a young age, babies, and sometimes we don't even realize it, but babies observe us. Babies learn from us, whether they're in a good environment or a bad environment. So, in the microsystem, the child interacts with parents and peers, and they develop relationships with family, teachers, and friends. And in the microsystem, behaviorism is learned through observing, conditioning, reinforcing punishment, when needed, and also rewarding good behavior. An example of this can be when a student is in a classroom with other students and one of the students is misbehaving, they could possibly be punished by the teacher and go to the principal's office. So maybe one student observes that and sees, oh, I don't want to get in trouble, I don't want to go to the principal's office. So they are good in class rather than copying that person and being bad. They learn from that situation. Another example that I could think of as far as children with disabilities go is when a child is in school and they either throw an object or scream. Usually this behavior is a form of communication for them, and a lot of people don't understand that or realize that. A lot of children with disabilities are also nonverbal, so when they're in pain or when they're frustrated or when they're not getting something, they can express themselves in that way. So children with disabilities, they can express this communication as a sign of anxiety, lack of understanding, or just being overwhelmed. The goal is to reinforce this behavior in a positive way. So what we do is we celebrate little achievements and praise good behavior and figure out why they're behaving this way. So some of these children, they do have sensory issues. We have to remember that, and that's why it's so important to just have such an open mind when it comes to students, and especially students with disabilities, because they're coming from all different backgrounds. They have different issues going on. Some of them are disabled. Some of them, just have a lot going on. So us as educators, we need to have an open mind for sure. So looking at it from a behavior point of view, we have to regulate ourselves, and then we have to teach some of these techniques to the children, the students. An example of grounding yourself is doing breathing exercises, or just naming 3 objects that you see to distract yourself, things like that, just to regulate your nervous system, and then teach children how to regulate their nervous system. I think that regulating yourself and grounding yourself should be the first step, because when you have a clear mind, then you're able to tackle the behavior situation in a more positive way. You could get less frustrated, you could be more understanding, and just kind of have a clear mind when you're dealing with something like that. So I just think it's a healthy way to handle any situation, regardless if it's in the classroom or not. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening to me, and let me know what you think.